Good afternoon, everybody. Hope all of you well and happy. And also happy Vesak month. All the Buddhist people all over the world. So we celebrate the Vesak month, particularly the Vesak day, which is the full moon. As I explained before, traditionally in India, the ancient time, all the Buddhist people celebrate Vesak for 1 month. Also, we everybody celebrate Vesak for 1 month. Then why this month is very important for Buddhist people? First, the teacher, the Buddha Shakyamuni, he was born on the 4th month of the lunar calendar. Then he became fully enlightened being, fully awakening being. Third, so he took into parinirvana the same month, then I think the same day, which is the full moon. So when we remember these three things, when we remember he was born on the full moon on the Vesak month, so we must feel so happy, feel happiness, rejoice, because Buddha Shakyamuni, the Siddhartha, the Gautam was born. So we must feel so happy. Second, so when we remember on the full moon day, he became a Buddha. So we must have a strong aspiration to be Buddha as Buddha Shakyamuni. Then we everybody, we must remember how Buddha Shakyamuni did achieve enlightenment. Not through simple recitation and chanting. So he became a Buddha through a lot of practices for many years. Particularly for the 6 years, he did very extensive, performed vast practices. Then he became a Buddha. Then as a Buddhist, as a follower of the Buddha, also we must follow how he achieved Buddhahood, which is through the practice of morality, practice of samadhi, practice of wisdom. Mainly the three mind training. Then third, so we just imagine around 80 years old. So Buddha Shakyamuni have been giving, teachings for many people according to their mental disposition. And so millions of people got lots of benefit from his teaching. Then at age of 80, So in the common culture, we can say he passed away. So when we remember the Buddha, which is, giving a lot of teachings for many people to achieve happiness, the short term, the lasting happiness. Suddenly, then he passed away when he was 80 years old. Then we must feel, bit sadness. So usually when we celebrate the Vesak month or the day of the training wheel of Dharma, we do very simple way. We set up simple offerings. Then particularly we offer lights and fruits. Then we recite mantra and chant, chanting for 10, 20 minutes. The more we chant, maybe like 2-3 hours, then we finish. This is how we celebrate, the holy month, the holy and important day. Actually, what Indian master says, Indian Buddhist master says, how you should celebrate, the holy day, the important day of the Buddha. We must celebrate based on remember his teaching through applying his teaching. Because Buddha have done, so many different kinds of activities. Among all activities, the best important activity was, giving teachings and guiding people how to overcome sufferings, how to achieve, the short-term happiness, how to achieve lasting happiness. Therefore, for this year, so we must celebrate, commemorate the Buddha life teachings. When we remember the teaching, we must apply the teaching in our daily life as much as we can for the 1 month. So if you cannot do, the fasting practice for every day, the minimum you must do on the 8th, I think day after tomorrow, then on the 15th, then the last day of the, Vesak month, the fasting. Then the practice you must do every day, 4 times a day, because due to the COVID, since tomorrow, so we cannot have a lot of activities in home, centers, office, food court. Everybody, I think, going to be very free from this kind of the busyness. So then we have a more opportunity to practice Dharma. So please, everybody, always remember the Buddha teachings, nothing more than taming your mind, taming our mind. Buddha teaching is nothing more than that cultivate, the positive thoughts, further develop the positive thoughts. So for the 1 month, so we try to reduce the negative thoughts as much as we can, try to generate the positive thoughts very specifically, great love, compassion, bodhicitta. Then we try to meditate on emptiness. Because Buddha teaching is only for reducing the negative thoughts, generating the positive thoughts. If you're not able to reduce the negative thoughts, not able to develop the positive thoughts, that means is very clear indication. So we don't know how to practice the Dharma. So all the Buddha teachings, we actually include into three Pitaka or three the basket. All the practices taught by Buddha also include onto three practices. Practice morality, be moral person. Practice, the Shila to reduce, control, suppress the negative thoughts. Then through practice of Samadhi, you're going to learn how to be mindful person, particularly how to be mindful on the positive thoughts. So the more you become mindfulness person, the more you will see the truth and reality. Then practice of wisdom through a mindfulness meditation, you will realize selflessness, emptiness. So this is very important. So many of us, I think everybody, so we have been doing a lot of recitation, chanting, visiting all the holy places, sur offering, incense offering, hanging up the prayer flags, or visit all the temples, offer the joystick, candlelight. Yes, we can accumulate a lot of merits, but we have experience. All this practice we have been doing for so many years, it doesn't really transform our thoughts. There doesn't really have to reduce the negative thoughts. Therefore, we really have to, practice the Dharma rather than, follow the religious, kind of ritual, chanting, recitation. I always said to you, we must do chanting, recitation. We must visit all the important holy sites. Only to follow this, definitely, we're not going to achieve liberation. We're not going to achieve Buddhahood. We're not going to free from suffering and the cause of suffering. Therefore, we really need to do a lot of meditation. So we are mostly, lacking the meditation. We are not really lacking like our gurus, teachers. I think everybody has more than 2 or 3 gurus. So everybody have been studying Dharma, Lamrim, Harsudara, Pramana, Madhyamaka. So we have been studying for many years with many different texts, Dharma texts. So that means we are not really lacking the education, knowledge about Dharma. So mainly we are really lacking in meditation. We don't do meditation. So we really like to do meditation, but so we want to do, we cannot, because our mind is always be busy. So when we try to focus on something, when we try to be mindful, our mind cannot be stays, on one chosen object. Then we thought, oh, I cannot do meditation. Therefore, it is so important to do meditation. Then, right now we are, we study Lamrim for many years. So this year can be the, this year can be the year to complete the Lamrim study. Then you feel very, strange. You feel maybe a little bit disappointment, because so we finished Lamrim, we study, we complete studying Lamrim. Actually, I don't know anything. Then you feel bit regret, you feel disappointment. Therefore, so all the study, when you are studying the third chapter, please don't forget the second and the first and second chapter. So when you study the fifth chapter, don't forget first, second, third, and fourth. So while you are studying the fourth chapter, if you already forgot the first, second, third chapter, then how you can have a progress, in your practice. Therefore, we really need, the good accumulation of studying. So in order to do this, what you need, you really need, good memory. You study very gently. Whatever you have studied, you must install in your mind. The next time, if there's no Lamrim books around you, still you can practice all the practices according to the Lamrim. So wherever we go, we cannot bring Lamrim. When you go to office, when you on the MRT, like bus, on taxi, you cannot bring Lamrim. You don't have a time to open the Lamrim. Therefore, you must, install all the important points in your mind. Then you can do Dhamma practice every day, anywhere. So among the three mind training, the most important one, the wisdom. So we have been studying the wisdom chapter for, I think, few classes. So today, I think we will almost try to finish the identification, how to identify the object of negation and the meaning of ignorance. Right? So we just go through the Lamrim. Non meditation, I guess all of you have been doing meditation every day, particularly for the Vesak month. So we carry out refutation with excellent reason, so as to stop inaccurate and mistaken conceptions. So, so we need to refute the negation. So in order to refute the negation, so we need to use logics and reasonings. So we cannot refute the negation as destroying the pot by a hammer, right? So we need to use the logics and reasoning to stop. So when we use the logic and reasoning for refuting the negation, then we can stop the ignorant to arise. To stop inaccurate, mistaken conceptions refer to ignorance. Also, the excellent reasonings, proved by reasoning is technique for develop the accurate certain knowledge. So the logics and reasoning we use for refutation, also we use for prove, the emptiness, use the reasoning to develop the wisdom, and logic and reasoning we use for refute the negation, for stopping ignorance. Therefore, logics and reasoning is very important. So in order to negate the negation, we must need, certain logics and reasoning. You no need to know all the logics and reasonings. Sometimes we have a very strong kind of, aspiration to learn all the logics. Yes, you have a knowledge about the logic. So when ignorance arises, when anger arises, attachment arises, so we fail to use the logics and reasoning to stop the negation. Then we fail to stop to arise the negative thoughts. All the logics and reasoning we not just keep as a knowledge, general knowledge. We must use to stop the negation, refute the negation. Then subsequently we can stop the negative thoughts. That means reasoning can be used for proving and refuting, refutation and proof. Therefore, those who wish to stop, because we everybody, right, wish to stop. Those who wish to stop the various inaccurate awareness and to develop the various accurate awareness should pursue the collection of argument by authors such as Nagarjuna and should develop mind that have accurate and certain knowledge of refutation and proof. So we all wish to stop, the various inaccurate awareness, which is ignorance. Then the various accurate awareness is the wisdom. So we need to study, we need to know the logics and reasonings. So among the logic reasoning, the best look like a king, we call king of the logics, which is dependent arising. We should not say interdependent, we must say dependent arising. When we have, good understanding about dependent arising, then it really help you to control your anger, attachment, desire, hatred, ego, pride. For example, when you have a, sort of argument with someone, argue about certain topic or certain matter. So after argument, so if you have a sense of anger, a sense of hatred, suddenly if you remember dependent arising, then how the anger going to control? Without him, without me, he or she cannot argue with me. The argument is come from both sides, my side, their side. Two come together, there's an argument. If be getting angry is also part of your activity, part of your contribution. Certainly, if or dependent arising, then almost half of anger going to reduce. Also, when you have a sense of attachment. Oh, I like the house. You like, not just only like your mind fully attached to the house, the beautiful, the nice house. Or your mind fully attached to the beautiful object. Your mind fully attached to the attractive person. Then, not just like, attachment, your mind fully hold on the object. Then, almost for 24 hours, you're missing the beautiful object, you're missing the attractive person, right? Due to that reason, so many people has so many problems. And that moment, suddenly if you remember dependent arising, oh, look like the thing is so beautiful. Oh, the beautiness, the beautifulness, the beautiness is how come from my projection, how come from my perception, maybe little bit from the object side. That means almost 80% attachment going to reduce. Therefore, the concept of dependent arising is a very, very important. Dependent arising, established dependently. This concept is very important. Therefore, we call the king of the logics. To prove emptiness, to refute the negation. Right? So mainly everybody try to understand the dependent arising. Therefore, certain knowledge of refutation and proof. Then there's a kind of question, if, as you say, refutation by means of reasonings is done in order to develop accurate certain knowledge, right? By eradicating incorrect cognitive process. Then, so this sentence, I think many people will confuse. As you said, refutation, what refute? Refute the negation. So in order to refute the negation, you need to use a method, which is reasonings. The reasoning you can use as a method to refute the negation. Is done in order to develop accurate certain knowledge. Right? So far we are in samsara because we always have a inaccurate awareness. We don't have a very accurate awareness about the things. So in order to have a accurate awareness or wisdom, so we need to stop the inaccurate cognitive process. In order to stop then, that we need to use logic to refute the refutation. Here I use a very simple analogy. Usually I use, for example, snow mountain. One person has a kind of eyesight problem. Therefore, the person can see, oh, the snow white mountain as a green mountain, green, blue, or yellow, right? So the person has so many different kind of concept about the yellow snow mountain. The yellow snow mountain is not exist. Still, oh, the person says, oh, I want to go to the white, yellow snow mountain. I want to play there, and he or she go there, and he or she is very enjoying with the yellow snow mountain. So here's a inaccurate awareness. So in order to stop the inaccurate awareness, so you need to refute the yellow snow mountain, not the snow mountain. yellow snow mountain need to refute. So in order to refute the yellow snow mountain, you need to use logics and reasonings. Through logic and reasoning, then you will know, oh, there's no such as yellow snow mountain. Then the misunderstanding, the misperception going to stop. Then all the perception, different concept about yellow snow mountain going to eliminate it, going to eliminate. This is the analogy. Second, so so let's say there's a two person looking at an object, looking at this pen. So we all looking at this pen. Then on the other side, all the arhat, arya, all the arya looking at the pen. That means in the one side, we are looking at this pen. On the other side, all the arya, arya are looking at this pen. Also, on the other side, the person who realizes emptiness, they are also looking at this pen. Both group, we and the arya, both cannot deny there's no pen. We also cannot deny, we cannot refute there's a pen. Also arya, the person who realizes emptiness, they also cannot refute the pen. Both they agree there's a pen. There's a pen. Arya say, yeah, this is a pen. And Arya said there's a pen. We also say this is a pen. But then there's another, let's say there's a Buddha in the center, in between. We looking this pen. The person who realizes emptiness, they're also looking at this pen. So we think the person who realizes emptiness, he or she can perceive same pen, right? Same pen. Then next to us, there's a Buddha. When Buddha looking into our mind, oh, this group perceive the pen, not pen, the independent pen. Perceive, independent pen. This group perceive mainly designated pen. So Buddha can see both of them looking a pen, both of them agree this is a pen, but when they perceive the pen, there's a different concept, right? So through studying Madhyamaka or through studying the wisdom chapter, we try to learn how I can perceive, how I can understand this is a pen, not only pen, the pen is merely designated object. This is a pen not established inherently, right? So due to this kind of misperception, then this pen is, so for us, this pen is independent pen. Then we have attachment, anger, pride, everything arises based on the misperception, based on the ignorance. Then it's very clear all the afflictive emotions caused by ignorance, right? Next, because we're going to learn what does mean ignorance. Reply, in general, there are a limitless number of conceptual consciousness. There's the limitless within one person, based on one within ourselves. within one person has a limitless number of conceptual consciousness that apprehend the object of negation. Right? For example, when you look at the 10 object, you have a 10 conceptual thoughts, conceptual mind, number of 10 number of conceptual consciousness. The 10 numbers of conceptual consciousness perceive the 10 object as a independent object. That means they apprehend the object of negation. For us, we cannot, as an ordinary person, we cannot differentiate the pen and the independent pen. So independent pen is the object of negation, Clear? The pen is a object. The independent pen, inherent existent pen, exists separately pen are the object of negation. We need to negate. We're not going to negate the pen. We're going to negate the independent. We need to negate the independent pen, right? Independent pen. For us, pen means independent pen. Independent pen means is a pen. Actually, independent pen is not existent phenomena. They cannot exist. We don't have an independent pen. We have a only dependent pen. For us, same. So there I will give you another examples. There's a the magical show. So there's a magician and the audience. When the magician, produce a horse on the stage, we really believe, oh, there's a horse. There's a horse. We perceive there's a horse. We can see there's a horse. And also magician also can see, oh, look, yeah, there's a horse. Look like there's a horse. We perceive a horse on the stage. The magician also perceived on the stage there's a horse. We perceive the horse. Also, we believe this is a real horse. The magician perceives a horse, but the magician doesn't believe it's a real horse because he knows it's just produced by him, it's not a real horse. For us, the magician, horse, same. So we have an appearance of the horse. Also, we believe it's a real horse. Magician has an appearance of horse. The magician don't believe, don't clinging this real horse. Then later, the magician show is over. Another people come in the place. When other people, Arab, came to the magician place, he or she doesn't have, he or she don't have both. No appearance of the horse, don't have the sense of mind which is apprehend the magician horse as a horse. Who come later, he or she doesn't have a both. No appearance, no horse appearances. No, the mind which is apprehend the horse. That means we all look like the audience. We appear there's a horse. Also, we really believe there's a horse. So we are like the audience. Then the magician can perceive the horse, but he or she don't believe this real horse. That means the person who realizes emptiness, the person already realized emptiness, he or she look like the magician. He or she can have the appearance of independent phenomena. Things appear to him as independent, but he or she doesn't have the mind to apprehend the object as independent. Then the Arya, all the Arya, like the person who come after finish the show, he or she doesn't have appearances of the horse. He or she doesn't have the apprehension mind to apprehend the horse. So this is the best analogy to understand, how different people has different concept about one object. Therefore, here negation, however, you should carefully identify the incorrect conceptual consciousness, mean ignorance. Actually, there's a numberless, conceptual awareness, conceptual consciousness. There are so many conceptual consciousness, but however, you should carefully identify the incorrect conceptual consciousness, which is ignorance. You really need to identify carefully the ignorance. Ignorance is the root of all faults and defects, and you should eradicate it. It reference object. So last time we stopped here, reference object. Please make sure you should carefully identify the incorrect conceptual consciousness that is the root of all faults and defects. Right? You should identify ignorance. The ignorance is the root of all faults and defects. And you should eradicate. What we should eradicate? We really, immediately we cannot eradicate ignorance. Ignorance is the mind with us. Then you should eradicate its referent object, not the object, referent object. Again, the person who perceiving, the snow mountain as a green or yellow mountain. So we need to prove to the person there's not such as yellow snow mountain. So we're going to prove there's no yellow snow mountain. We cannot prove there's no snow mountain. There's a snow mountain is there, but not yellow snow mountain, blue snow mountain. So we need to prove. There's a different object. So ignorance, when ignorance perceive again, when the ignorance perceive the pen, so we cannot refute the pen. We need to refute. We need to eradicate the referent object, which is independent pen, inherent existent pen. So if I ask you a question here, what is the referent object of ignorance? You should not say the pen. You should not say the book. You should not say the table. You must say the independent pen, inherent pen, independent table, independent phenomena. So independent phenomena is the referent object of ignorance. Ignorant not just perceive the object. Ignorant perceives the object as an independent. So the independent pen is the referent object. So we need to eradicate. We need to refute the referent object, not the object. We cannot refute object. We cannot refute the pen. It is referred to object. For if that is stopped, then all false and defeat will be stopped. So first we need to eradicate the referent object. When you are able to eradicate the referent object, then the ignorant easy to control. Then rest of the afflictive emotion, all the default false, automatically we can say automatically going to stop. For example, another analogy we can give, like diamond glass, diamond cup. For example, let's say I am the richest person in Singapore. For example, I am the richest person in Singapore. Every time I use most expensive things, expensive car, expensive watch, expensive phone, expensive cup, tea cup. Because I'm very richest, I'm richest person. So when I drink, like green tea in this cup, then everybody we have assumption, oh, this cup must be diamond or very expensive crystal. We don't think these are just, cost 50 cents. We just have a misconcept about this cup. We think these are diamond, right? Diamond. Since we thought, oh, this is very expensive, how much does this cost? If the person give me this one, I will sell, I can have a lot of money, then I can build house, then I have a good house, so we have all the thoughts come based on the misunderstanding about the cup. Then somebody prove you this cup is very cheapest cup, cost only 50 cents, right? So through reasonings or logics or, what we call logics and reasoning, also through certain, let's say, anyway, so through certain reason, the person prove you this is not an expensive cup. Since the rich person give you the cup, you don't have a sense of happiness. You don't have the thoughts, I want to sell, then I can make a lot of money, then I can build house. In the house, I put a lot of expensive furniture, I buy the brand things, everything stop. Once you know this is a very ordinary cup, only costs 50 cents, then you can see all the thoughts going to stop. Therefore, referent object means you need to realize there's not such as independent cup, independent book, independent I, independent me, independent my parents. So So when you realize there's no such as independent, then ignorance, we under control. Then rest of the thoughts, not arising strongly, continuously, maybe arise for a short time, then again, be able to control. So a different object. For if that is stopped, when able to stop the different object, then all faults and defects will be stopped. Moreover, okay, ignorance, right? The next quotations are very interesting. Moreover, the remedies set for the sutra for other afflictions. The remedies set forth in sutra for other afflictions, such as attachment, cure portion of affliction, whereas the remedies set forth the fourth ignorance, cure all afflictions. Therefore, ignorance is the basis for all faults and defects. Right? That means in the sutra, which is taught us remedies for attachment. These kind of remedies, so for example, essenceless is the important remedies to reduce attachment. So this remedy is reduce little portion of affliction, not all afflictions. Then the remedies for ignorance, it cure all afflictive emotions. Then the quotation from Chandrakirti, the teaching of the Buddhas, the sets for sutra and so forth are based on the two truths. Is talking about the content, the two truths. In the 9 types, they tightly proclaim the 9 means, when you look at the whole Buddha teaching, you can include into 9, categories. Proclaim that the was remedies which is correspondent to worldly behavior. Among these, those said to eliminate attachment, do not extinguish hostility, right? That means the remedies eliminate hostility, do not extinguish attachment, and those said to extinguish pride and so forth, do not overcome other defilements. Therefore, they are not broadly effective, and those scriptures are not for great significance. Those seek to extinguish delusion. Delusion refers to ignorance. Delusion overcome all afflictions. That conquerors have said that all afflictions are based upon the delusions. So this one is very important. So I think we will already study, during the meditation chapter. So we already study, so when you do meditation, you need to check your mind, which negative thoughts is more stronger. When you recognize, oh, this morning, now my attachment is so strong, then still you try to do meditation, you cannot. Attachment is so strong. Therefore, first you need to reduce attachment through applying the antidotes, which is essenceless, ugliness. And sometimes you feel, oh, somehow now I feel very sense of hatred, angry with someone, or angry with my house, angry with my car, angry with my breakfast. Then still, without reducing anger, you try to do meditation, you cannot. Therefore, you need to reduce anger through applying compassion. The compassion reduces anger, cannot reduce attachment. Ugliness, essenceless, meditating on ugliness, essenceless can reduce attachment, cannot reduce angers. Therefore, there are all the, readiness antidotes are individual antidotes. So the antidote for ignorance is the antidote for all the afflicted emotions. Therefore, among the Buddha teachings, the most important, holiest teachings is the Parajna Paramita teaching because of emptiness. When you do meditation on emptiness, this practice can cure, all afflicted emotions. Therefore, the Parajna Paramita teaching becomes very important teaching. Therefore, ancient time, many, I think, monasteries or nunneries or all the village people, they built a big stupa. Then, top of the stupa, they put the Parajna Paramita teachings. Top of the stupa, they put the Parajna Paramita teaching with the flower, incense. Then every time people go or walk around the stupa. When they walk around the stupa, then they remember Parajna Paramita teachings there. Then they remember emptiness. Therefore, in the what you call the Mura Jambi. Jambi is the the area name. Mura Jambi is part of the Jambi in Indonesia. According to Tibetan history, during the Lama Selimba time, he built huge stupa. The top of the stupa, then he kept the Parajna Paramita teachings. With the Buddha relics, right? So whenever he have a free time, then he always walk around the stupa. So walking around stupa reminds us the Buddha body, speech, and mind, particularly Buddha teaching, speech. Even though Adisha, when he was very old in Tibet, even though he could not walk very well, he didn't want to go around, one around or walk around few times the stupa. He didn't want to miss, because one is the physically exercise, second, the mental exercise, third, remember the emptiness. And also, even though when he was very old, he really cannot get up, very well, because I think around 80 years old. But every day, he didn't want to, miss offering water, offering the 7 bowls. Every morning when he, woke up, so he set up the offerings. Even though he was very old, he could not really, set up very well, too old. Then one of the assistants says, disciple says, Guru, please don't worry, I will set up for you. He said, I will do for you. Then what did he say? He said to him, if you eat food, can I fulfill my hungry? Cannot. So when you set up offering for me, you going to accumulate merit. I cannot get the merit. Better to do myself, right? Therefore, so all the kind of antidotes is very individual. The antidotes for ignorance is antidotes for all the negative thoughts, all the afflictive emotions. Therefore, those said to extinguishing delusion, delusion refer to ignorance, overcome all afflictions, because all affliction caused by ignorance arise by ignorance. The conquerors have said that all afflictions are based upon delusions. So delusion, ignorance. Okay, you should not think delusion is just simply mistaken money. Delusion is a timuk. In Tibetan, we go timuk marikba is same. Timuk is now what we learn here. First, we learn the reference object of ignorance. How we should stop all the emotion. All the emotion can be stopped when we stop ignorance. Ignorance can be stopped to arise when we refute the referent object. The referent object we must refute through logic and reasoning. We cannot just destroy the referent object as a destroying the pot by hammer, right? So then, among the antidotes, so here telling the wisdom is very important, because all the other antidotes like compassion, kindness, tolerance, forgiveness, all the antidotes are just individual antidotes. The antidotes for ignorance is the subsequently antidotes for all the afflicted emotions. Next, what is the delusion? Delusion mean what is the ignorance? It is ignorance which in this context is awareness, mean it's a mind. It has a mind mistakenly superimpose intrinsic nature, apprehend internal and external phenomena as exist by way of their own intrinsic characters. So this sentence has many parts. First, what is the delusion? What is the ignorance? So you ask yourself, what is the delusion? What is ignorance? I want to know, right? Then it is ignorance, which in this context is awareness. I mean, awareness is synonymous here, mind. Then mistakenly superimpose intrinsic nature. That means, let's say two children, live, playing together, sit together. Then both of them really like a chocolate, Both of them very much like chocolate. They really like chocolate. Then they are looking around, right? When they are looking around, there's a mind. When they are looking around, that time both they has a awareness, a mind. They are looking around. Then one boy mistakenly think, the stone, black stone over there is like a chocolate. Then he ran to there to eat the chocolate. So when you reach there, when he touched the chocolate, actually is a piece of stone, not chocolate. So how he has this kind of, misperception about the stone as a chocolate. Therefore, mistakenly, the child mistakenly put, superimpose as a chocolate on the stone. Then he ran. So this superimpose come based on the misunderstanding, right? Awareness that mistakenly superimpose intrinsic nature. Superimpose mean when you look at the thing, when we look at the thing around us, we always have a superimpose. I mean, we put extra quality, which is intrinsic nature. They call superimpose. So you put extra quality which is not there, right? Superimpose. Intrinsic nature. Then the ignorance, not just impose, not super, like a mistakenly superimpose intrinsic nature. At the same time, then apprehend the object, external object or internal object, phenomena exist by way of their own intrinsic characteristics. You know what I mean? Again, we can use the pen. So when we look at the pen, then at the same time, when we're looking at the pen, we have ignorance. We have eye consciousness, can perceive the pen. At the same time, there's an ignorance on the sixth mind. The ignorant also perceives the pen. When ignorant perceive the pen, the ignorant superimpose, means that they put the extra quality, which is the intrinsic nature. Intrinsic nature. Not just put the extra quality as an intrinsic nature, also the ignorant apprehend the pen as an intrinsic existence. Therefore, here, phenomena existing by way of their own characteristic. In this sentence explains very clearly the meaning of ignorance, delusion. Because delusion, ignorance is a synonymous. Next, there's a quotation from the Chandrakirti, commentary on the 400th stanza by Aryadeva, right? So Nagarjuna is the teacher, then Aryadev, Tibetan we call Aryadeva. Actually, the Sanskrit we call Aryadev. Aryadev was the very important disciple of Nagarjuna. Then Chandrakirti is the disciple of Aryadeva. So Aryadeva was very important disciple of Nagarjuna. So the 400 stanza commentary on the 400 stanza by Aryadev. It is said that one become attached to the things, right? We attach to the things. Why we attach to the thing? Who taught us attach to the things? Nobody taught us. Since we were born, the attachment with us, anger with us, everything with us. So why we attach to the things? Why we have this kind of thoughts? Here you can see that one become attached to the things by the power of an affective misunderstanding. Again, refer to the ignorance. afflictive misunderstandings. First part. Second, a consciousness that superimposes on essence of the thing. Right? First, we attach to the things. So we angry to the things. We angry with someone. We have a pride about something. How all the thoughts really arise? How? It is arise by power of the afflictive misunderstanding, afflictive ignorance. So what does mean afflictive ignorance? A consciousness that means there's a mind, the mind superimpose essence of the things. Thing doesn't have any essence. Thing doesn't have a intrinsic essence. Thing doesn't have an independent existence, but the ignorant superimpose, superimpose essence of the thing. That one stop secular existence by totally stopping. Therefore, when you're able to stop the different object, then one stop secular existence by totally stopping that which is served as a seeds for the process of secular existence. In order to indicate this, then in order to explain more precisely, then the stanza from 400 says, the seeds of the worldly existence, seeds of the worldly existence. The worldly existence referred to secular existence, samsara, synonymous. The seeds of the samsara, the seeds of the secular existence, the seeds of the worldly existence is a consciousness, is a ignorance. Consciousness, object is superior of the activity. That means ignorance is the seeds of the secular existence. Ignorance is the seeds of the samsara, right? Samsara. Then the ignorance, the delusion, the ignorance or the consciousness objects are the superior activity. That means that when the ignorant perceive the object, the ignorant perceives the object as an independent object. When you see that object like a self, when you see, the object which you perceive with the ignorance is lack of self, you negate the seeds of the worldly existence. It's exactly we have experienced in our daily life. During the sleeping time, sometimes you have a very nice dreaming, very nice dream, very nice, wonderful dream. So even though during the sleeping time you feel so happy, so enjoy, you feel so happy. Then when you woke up, you realize, oh, all the beautiful object I have seen in the dream, this is the object of the dream, the object of the dream mind. But there's no such a beautiful object there. Also, one day you have very scary dream. Somebody tried to kill you, somebody snap your knife. You feel so scared. Even though during while you are sleeping, you feel so scared. Sometimes you have a sweat. You're shocked. You didn't realize this dream. Then when you woke up from your sleeping, you realize, oh, I was mistaken. It was not real. It's a dream. Then all the sense of fears going to stop. Sense of fear, sense of attachment also going to stop. Then when we look like that now, we are deeply sleeping person. Whatever thing appear to us, we think is actually is a independent. Is real there. Real there mean again should not be have a mistake in. This is pen, is a real. When we look at the pen, we think the pen means such a something must be there. We innately we believe the pen means something must be there for establishing this thing as a pen. Right? There must be essence. There must be something, some essence for establishing this is a pen. So this is a mistaken. There's something real. When you analyze, there's no such a thing real there. There's a pen, but when you analyze, you really cannot find there's a something which is fully essence, right? Therefore, when you seize the object lacks self, you negate the seeds of the worldly existence. So please everybody memorize this sentence. Also the previous quotation from the clear words. The seeds of the worldly existence is a consciousness, is a ignorance. Object are mean the independent phenomena are is superior activity. When you see the object like self, you negate the seeds of the worldly existence. You negate, you stop the seeds of the samsara. Right? So when you study this kind of teaching, this kind of verses, you should not think it look like somebody telling you story. You should not think this way. You should think, oh, the samsara actually caused by ignorance. Ignorance has a very unique object to apprehend, which is the independent, the inherent object. Through logic and reasoning, if I am able to negate the independent phenomena, then the ignorance doesn't have any more object to hold on it. Then ignorance going to stop. Then rest of the afflictive going to stop. Then you are free from samsara, right? So you should not think you are just listening a story. You should think whatever he explained this Lamrim, based on all the quotation, there must be something important. You must think that way. Hence, Ayadeva hold that by the seeing object, by seeing object as lacking intrinsic nature, you totally stop the seeds of the self-existence, the consciousness that cause attachment. This stop self-existence for Charvaka, Pratyaga Buddha, and Bodhisattva. Right? So whether you follow Mahayan teaching, Hinayan teaching, you need to negate the negation. When you negate the negation, you can stop ignorance. When you stop ignorance, you can stop all the effects, then karma, then you can stop to take a rebirth. So according to the Mahayan or Tibetan tradition, we follow Nalanda tradition. So we assert, in order to free from suffering, in order to free from samsara, in order to achieve Buddhahood, liberation, emptiness is very important. Without realized emptiness, you cannot achieve liberation. Therefore, Charvaka, Pratyaga Buddha, Bodhisattva, who have attained forbearance with regard to the teaching of the non-production. Non-production means emptiness. This also called the conception of true existence, or Ayadeva's 400 stanza says, just as the tactiles, this quotation, is always recite when we, first day, when we have a, like a teaching, particular emptiness. Just as the tactile sensory faculty pervades the body, is the analogy. delusions lies within all the afflictions. Therefore, by destroying delusions, again, delusion refers to ignorance, delusions, you will destroy all the affliction. Commentary on the verses, Chandrakirti commentary on the foundation said, because of confusion brought on by the thoughts, the thing truly exists as they appear, Delusion act to superimpose upon things as essence of the true existence. So it's actually, you just think is telling me, because of confusion brought on by the thoughts, the thing truly exists as they appear to me, appear to us, right? Then delusion act to superimpose upon the thing as essence of true existence. Then there's a question. For this one, I think we can talk a little bit next time. So we can have a Q&A for maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so no question, then as a Vesa month, if after you remember question, you can, write your question, then she can see, then, we can have a Q&A. So as a Vesa month, as a very important day, as a Buddhist, so today we recite the mantra of the Buddha Shakyamuni. First, everybody, you don't need to show the picture, the photo. Everybody visualize Buddha Shakyamuni according to the picture we used in the past. Just visualize above you, above your forehead, in front of you, with the golden color, irradiating a lot of lights. You should not think this look like just image. You should think the visualized Buddha Shakyamuni is the real Buddha. He can give a teaching. He can listen your chanting, recitation. He can see your motivation. He can free us from suffering and samsara. Please visualize Buddha Shakyamuni. And pray to Buddha Shakyamuni for realizing emptiness. Deyata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Yeso. 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 Deyata Om. Deyata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Yeso. Also pray to Buddha Shakyamuni for realizing emptiness. Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sangade Buddhi Yeso. Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sangade Buddhi Yeso. Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Sangade Buddhi Yeso. Deyata Om Gade Gade Para Sangade Buddhi Yeso. Teada gade para sangade buddhiyeso. 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 Pray to Buddha Shakyamuni for able to generate bodhicitta. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Janjo Senjo Rinpoche Ma Ye Banagi. Yewa Nyamba Meba Yang Kuni Kundo Pewar Sho. Tonyi Tawa Rinpoche Ma Ye Banagi Gyoje. Yewa Nyamba Meba Kuni Kundo Pewar Sho. Tonyi Tawa Rinpoche Ma Ye Banagi Gyoje. Yewa Nyamba Meba Yang Kuni Kundo Pewar Sho. Okay, so I don't think you have any question answer. We can stop here because the topic is quite heavy. And also, I think since tomorrow, I think that Singapore is going to do more tighten rules and regulations. So please, everybody, try to practice as much as you can. And also, you don't need to, know. You don't need to read all the news about COVID. What is going in India and Singapore, Malaysia, what will happen. If you read a lot of news, think about the COVID, it really disturb you. It makes you very insecure, makes you very unhappy. And also you will have a lot of worry about your families and relatives. Therefore, you have to be very careful. You know better than me, I'm quite careless. Still, you should not have a sense of worry, should not feel it's too difficult. If you feel it's difficult, then you feel very difficult. That makes you very unhappy. So always remember the impermanence. Things comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and go. But nothing can stay as a permanent. So we have a, let's say, very bad day today, and tomorrow we have a good day. Or we have a very bad years. This year may be a very bad year. We have a good years. Always be positive. Always have a hope, to be better, to getting better. So because I've been here more than 8 years in Singapore, I know the Singaporean, like the mental culture, so very easy to agitate, very easy to disturb, and also people, spread the news, like in news or like a YouTube or like clips. You never analyze, you never study. When somebody posts, forward you forward others. Then the news, spread all over Singapore. Is make you very unhappy. For example, somebody sent me, there's I think a monk, he just calling, Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, then the big pig come from forest. Then the pig just stay there. Then he show the mala, the pig just looking at the mala, right? Then people think, wow, the pig is so lucky to able to see the mala, it look like chanting. No, because pig, so the pig can recognize the monk voice. When he called, then he come. Right? Then when he showed the mala, the pig looking at the mala, because he thinks this mala is for food. He wished to eat. When the pig, lay down, then the monk tried to read mantra, Om Amitabha Namo Amithoho, Nami Omothoho, Nami, with the wooden things like. Then the pig just sleep. It's nothing, because when the monk used the stick on the body, like it looked like giving, exercise. The pig feels so happy, just sleep there. He didn't feel, I don't think he can feel the mantra. So this kind of things, you think, wow, it's so special. And also, at the last month, there's a clips, posting here, there. There's in the I think Thailand, there's a nunnery. Then the bird, come around, stay with the nuns. When the nun chant, also the birds stay there. Always stay around the nuns. We thought, wow, it's very special bird. Actually, no. The bird, maybe he previous life, he, the bird was a nun from the nunnery. So after the nun passed away, he born as a bird. So he can remember the nunnery, he can recognize, his previous friends, have an attachment to the nun, attachment to the nunnery. They just stay there. You should not think this kind of something special. I wish to born as the bird. I wish to born as a pig. Okay. So this I'm telling based on what Buddha said. Right? Buddha lifetime, there's a monasteries, and there's a resident room for one monk. So the monk passed away. Right? After a few years, one big snake always come to the resident monk's resident, and always sleep in the begging bowl. Always come and sleep in the begging bowl and go out and search food and come back. Then the monk thought, what happened? Why this snake always come and stay in the room, stay in the begging bowl? Then he left for food and come back. Then they asked this question to Buddha. Buddha said, this snake was a monk in previous life from this monastery, this resident room. So when he was passed away, he had a very strong attachment with the begging bowl. So he had a sense of attachment. He died with the attachment, desire, attachment. They activate negative karma, born as an animal. Still he can remember the resident, remember the begging bowl. They say, come back and stay in the begging bowl. Right? So when we see some kind of this kind of like YouTube clip, we should not think it's something very special. It's a not good sign, it's a bad sign. Okay? So thank you so much for attending.
Geshe-la, before we go, there's one question.
Okay, please.
So on page 206, the 9 types, it says in 9 types they rightly proclaim. What's the 9 types refers to?
Okay, Tibetan we call Sungrab Enla Junyi, the Buddha teachings. So you can categorize into 9. Even the one teacher, the Heart Sutra, you can divide into 9. I cannot find the translated in English. Next time I will get. Right. For example, before beginning of the Heart Sutra, there's a kind of a background, a history of the Heart Sutra. Then second, there's a kind of verses or sentence explain the quality of the Buddha and disciples. So there's not all the teachings. Even the Heart Sutra has like 9 proclaims. So I hope I will get in English. So what are the 9? So I thought about when I read, I know what does mean, but I could not get the English one. So I will get for you next class.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, then at the end we do dedication. So first we dedicate all merit for becoming or said Buddha, to benefit all sentient beings. Dedicate the merit to benefit all sentient beings, particularly your family and friends, also all the donors and supporters who support Tibetan Buddhist Center, who make a contribution for light offering, flower offering, fruit offerings. So because we have a lot of light offerings. Also on the Vesak day, we will have more than 100 orchid flowers. Also we dedicate the merit to benefit all the donor and supporter. Also dedicate the merit to benefit their families and relatives and friends. Last, we dedicate the merit for world peace. Regularly dedicate the merit for able to control the COVID-19. Now also this day, there's a huge, I think, conflict between Palestine and Palestine and what?
Israel.
Israel and the particular group in the Philippines, ASMA, right? Israel and the Philippines is quite serious problems. Also, please dedicate the merit to reduce the conflicts. Hamas, at the part of the group in the Philippines. Sorry, Palestine, yeah, part of group. So this kind of conflict is very dangerous. It's look like more religious conflicts, not easy to solve the problem. So dedication, they can help to solve the problem. Jide yambe yagan danje do mine june zaze zade maru moge guba gunje ne chire ne me dege demba lorna balde la me guze ne kezun denjin sambe zade dembe chinda ngadang darwa ye tobe demba yure ne lozan gave demba yure ne yuji